and germs, pre-ops and post-ops, children of all ages, coming to you from a secret, undisclosed location somewhere in beautiful downtown. Oh, hell, you know we ain't telling you. My name is Matt Murdock, here to introduce to you the one, the only. If God made a nutter, he's a phony. The master blaster, the master of disaster, and the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour, makes everybody stand up to holler. He's the undisputed talk show champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mandrake. Mandrake. He's not promoting anybody. Yeah, right. Put your microphone on. And while he puts his microphone on, I just want to say, if anybody agrees that this is one crazy son of a bitch, somebody give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, Mr.
And
Murdock,
that's the bottom line, because Murdock said
Mr.
so.
Murdock doesn't know when to shut his trap, Mr. Murdock.
Oh,
all right?
Talk about
you don't
the
know when
pot
to
calling
shut
the
your
kettle
trap.
black. Oh, my
Now,
God.
This is the kettle calling the pot black. Now, this is a situation to our vast listening audience. Let us say,
oh,
good
yeah,
afternoon.
our vast listening audience, which is now up to 29 now.
Well,
we're getting there.
Actually, we did a survey, and we do have a raise in the ratings here at the undisclosed location. And we want to thank all of our viewers out there for contributing to the viewership of the Lionel Mandrake and
Matt Murdock
show. And what we'd like to say is if you have any complaints or conditions that you'd like to discuss about our show, please call the number at the bottom of your screen or send an email.
Oh, and by the way, to explain while we're on that, okay, these chairs back here, we did have some studio guests that were to come in, but apparently the bus got hijacked by some wayward chicken farmers somewhere in Iowa, so I don't think they're going to make it.
Well, about those chicken farmers, those guys are pretty crazy, and I don't think it was the colonel either that took the truck away. What we have to do is say to you this. We do have some audience members that were scheduled to appear. For some reason, at the last minute, they were informed as to the nature of our show, and they declined to show up. The reason is because they think that we may be a little bit too extreme for their taste. Am I right, Mr. Murdock?
Extreme? Us?
Right. In other words, we might be a little too left-wing. In other words, we're concerned about our country's future. We're concerned about securing the borders. We're concerned about the next presidential race.
You know, we've been accused of a lot of things. I don't think left-wing is one of
Well,
them.
certainly speak for yourself, because some people not only call me left-wing, but they call me right-wing and every other kind of adjective. And you're usually the guy who's throwing adjectives at me.
Who, me?
Yes, sometimes.
Little old me?
Well, sometimes, I do admit. Well, listen, today's news topics are varied. There's a lot of domestic issues in the, for example, newspapers in New York City. We had one of our aides go out and purchase some newspapers locally at the undisclosed location. And what is on the front page of the New York Post of all places?
If you haven't seen it already, I think I need to do a parental advisory here.
Yes, if you're under the age of like 16, please don't read the newspaper.
This story is a real riot. I mean, I couldn't help it. I mean, it's not really a funny thing, but I couldn't help it. I was laughing.
Well, you know,
tell us more about it.
The situation is this. We have a lot of people who are besmirching certain faith groups, for example, the Catholic faith. But when you besmirch the Catholic faith and it's unjustified, that's one thing. But when you're a priest and you're actually besmirching it yourself by going out and hiring SMS whippers to take you into a dungeon, and then you're using the funds from the church, I think that's something that needs to be discussed, because it doesn't represent the faith, and that's a fact.
And that's the part that's really bad, the fact that he actually, okay, if he wants to pay for gay sex or whatever it was, okay, that's him. But to actually steal money from the church to finance this is the part.
Well, set it up for the audience. Let them know exactly what happened.
Okay,
it was disclosed.
I'll go through a little bit of it here. Okay.
Wait a minute. We have a caller. I guess somebody wants to.
We have a caller.
Yes, we have a caller on the Lionel Mandrake radio program. What is your opinion, and what do you have to say about the priest that we're currently discussing right now?
Well,
yes, hello. Who's calling?
Yes, this is Thomas Payne.
Mr. Payne, how are you today? What's your location, please?
Oh, I'm in California.
You're in California. Yeah, the
We're
Republic, the People's
nationwide,
Republic
ladies and gentlemen.
of California. So what is on your mind there, Mr. Payne?
Well, what we're doing is I'm going to talk to you about several different subjects today.
Well, keep it to a half of a subject, because we're limited for time. What is the subject that most concerns you, Mr. Payne?
Well, basically, why the World Trade Centers came down.
Well, what is your opinion of that? I think it's a well-known fact that it was Islamic extremism that hijacked 2 airplanes and drove them into the Twin Towers.
No. The World Trade Centers came down here in Los Angeles.
Are you kidding me, Mr. Murdock? Did you hear about anything like this?
This is news to me.
Well, please explain, Mr. Payne.
Because you don't understand what's going on. What happened to the Rodney King and O.J. Simpson case?
Well, I'm not so sure. You tell me. Well, they were both acquitted, I think.
The Rodney King case and the O.J. Simpson case, what we did was we televised it all over the world, and we wanted to show the world how benevolent we were and how our system of justice worked.
Exactly right, and I think they did a good job of showing that our system of justice is really a type of jury nullification.
They both got 2 trials, but only should get 1. The Judicial Corps capitulated to a rabble instead of a force. If you remember, they got a race riot in New York, in California, because of the Rodney King case, because they didn't like the judgment over in CB Valley.
I see. And that was how long ago now?
What happened was they were going to ready to riot in the O.J. Simpson case.
Well, that never happened.
You ask any military officer who's worth his salt, he'll tell you the difference between a rabble and a force.
And what is that difference, please?
We capitulated to a rabble instead of a force.
Yes, but the whole government is one big rabble. It's one big gang. The biggest gang wins. The gang that has the biggest number of votes in the Congress plays the tune. Am I right, Mr. Murdock?
That and the most money.
Yeah, if you have money, we all know that there's no real true system of justice because justice is no longer blind. Justice really goes to mob mentality, especially in the 21st century, which we are plainly seeing right now with our president and the Congress and also the prevailing different groups out there trying to do race politics like Black Lives Matter, which is a pet peeve of Mr. Murdock.
Yep.
What do you have to say about that?
I understand that, but basically, you see, you've forgotten one thing. This nation's forgotten one thing.
What is that?
You listen to that John Lennon garbage. I want to love everybody.
Right,
you forgot what Theodore Roosevelt said. He said the world will never love us. They may fear us. They may even respect us, but they'll never love us.
And what political party was the? Did you say Theodore Roosevelt, the great outdoorsman?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, not Teddy Roosevelt. Theodore, you're talking about Teddy Roosevelt.
They're the same people.
I'm talking about Teddy Roosevelt.
Mr. Murdock tells me they're the same people. Right. Okay. So what else? What other thing do you have on your mind about current events that are going on before we hang up here?
Well, the basic things here is that you have a problem with our system of government. If you remember, do you remember the stamps that the U.S. Post Office issued saying liberty, equality, and justice?
I do not remember those stamps. What year was that? Quickly.
They came out, and what they really meant was liberty, equality, fraternity. That's the French Revolution all over again. But that liberty, equality, and fraternity is for the judicial court, the legal court, and the elected official court. We as citizens do not have any say at all.
Yeah, but neither do the people of France. The people of France, despite their empty slogan, liberté, égalité, fraternité, their country has been stolen from them. I mean, right now there's a mass migration into Europe, and if my listening audience out there remembers the previous show with Open Gates, you'll see that in the last 8 months, more than 900,000 people from the Maghreb countries, from North and Middle Africa, and from the Middle East have poured into Germany at the behest of the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel. There is no liberté, fraternité, and égalité anymore. It's what the elites want.
It's the same thing that happened in the revolution. They're de-Christianizing the nation like they de-Christianized France.
Exactly right, during the French Revolution. And Marie Antoinette did not die because she said, let them eat cake. She never said that. That was a journalistic device that was in use for about 100 years before her time. They attributed that slogan to her to make her look like a callous, out-of-touch monarch, and they used that as a reason to bring her to the guillotine. Well, thank you very much there, Mr. What is your name again, Mr. Payne? Now, why does that name sound familiar to me, Thomas Payne?
Do you ever hear of the book that he wrote, Common Sense?
Common Sense, yes. And you know what? We don't have a lot of common sense in Washington. Thank you very much, Mr. Payne, and please be a steady listener and contact Lionel Mandrake anytime. Thank you very much. Well, what do you think about that last call there, Mr. Murdock?
Well, actually, okay, there was one point that he brought up.
One moment, please. Hello, welcome to the, yes, Lionel Mandrake. This is Matt Murdock and Lionel Mandrake. What is your question?
Is this Mandrake?
Yes, who's calling, please, and what is your opinion on different topics? Speak, please. We don't have a hell of a lot of time here.
Hi, Mandrake, this is Mr. Drago. I'm calling because...
Drago? Are you that fighter from the Rocky movie?
What?
Are you that famous Russian fighter, Mr. Drago?
No, I'm not.
Well, why are you stuttering then? It sounds to me like you protested too much. All right, what is it that you have to say here on the Lionel Mandrake radio program, please?
Yeah, well, I'm calling because I want to give my opinion on Obama.
What do you think about Obama in 2 words or less?
Just speak louder, Mandrake.
Yes, what do you think of Obama?
Well, I think he's a horrible president.
Thank you very much for contacting the Lionel Mandrake radio program. Please call back in 15 minutes. If you get a busy signal, try again. Thank you.
This sounds like a telephone.
Yes, Lionel Mandrake and Matt Murdock radio program. You're on the air live. And what is your name? What is your topic, please?
Yes, my name is Wolf, Mr. Wolf. My topic is, I'd like to say it's a glorious day that racist pig in Oklahoma cop has gotten 260 years for raping 13 black women. He should have got more, and I hope every last year, 260 of them, he gets raped annually, religiously, aggressively.
Well, in jail, there's a good chance that will happen.
Excuse me, are you trying to say that because of the injustice in the justice system and because of certain practitioners and carrier-outers of that justice, namely police officers, be they white or black, that you're happy that this man is going to be put in prison for over 263 years for abhorrent crimes? Am I right, Mr. Murdock?
Yeah, I want to ask a question on Mr. Wolf. Okay, I'm not really up on that story. Could you enlighten our audience to the details of it?
Yes, please do, and be brief about it.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Down with the pigs, bro. Simple as that.
Oh, wait a minute.
Down with the pigs.
Power to the people.
What have the pigs? Are you referring to our fine, thin blue line out there that protects your right to call me up and call them names? Or are you referring to actual pigs in a field somewhere, which is probably where you're living, in a Frigidaire box?
Endearing himself to our audience,
now,
ladies and gentlemen.
Are you referring to the fine men and women in blue who are out there to protect us and who are really exceptional people, and there are some bad apples? Now, what do you have to say about that?
Wow, what I have to say is you sound real liberal. I thought this Mandrake guy
That's
was
the worst thing you could have called
I bet you
him.
got on tight jeans and some penny loafers too, don't you? I bet you do. I almost positively do. You got a suit with some tight jeans on. Now listen, I'm going to tell you this now. They don't protect and serve me. They probably protect and serve you while you sit there with your little ruby red lips and eat your little Thanksgiving dinner. Well, I don't know what color your lips is. All I'm saying is you sound like it, all right?
Yeah, but why do you call up the Lionel Mandrake radio program and insult Mandrake and not Murdock?
Well, I was getting ready to get on Murdock, because Murdock, I was getting ready to get on Murdock. Murdock had one more chance with me. That was it.
What did I do to you?
No, you didn't do nothing to me, brother. I'm just saying, if I hear one more inkling of some type of Uncle Thomas.
Oh, my God.
I knew this was
Uncle
coming.
Thomas.
I knew this was coming.
Minute. How dare you
Okay.
call my co-host a name like that?
Let me get this straight, okay? I
my
say
God.
something.
Uncle Tom?
I say something
Yes.
because I get tired of all the stupidity that black people engage in, and I'm Uncle Tom. But I never. But you people never say anything about the black-on-black crime. You never say anything about how homeboys are murdering each other in the street. Oh, but I say something speaking out against it, and I'm Uncle Tom.
And I'm an Uncle Tom. What's the white version of Uncle Tom?
You're not Uncle Tom.
I have no idea.
I'm an uncle, a cracker, because
I'm
I'm for the police, and there are bad apples out there. And you sound to me like the kind of guy that might have done some time, I think my sources tell me. And you got pulled over, and you got thrown into a cell, and they threw you some books, and you read them. And you totally misinterpreted the Christian Bible, and now you're a right-wing freak extremist.
This is funny. He's calling somebody right-wing, and the guy called him a
Now, let's
left-winger.
get serious here.
This is bizarro world.
Mr. Wolf, may I ask you a question? Did you read the news about El Chapo today, or what he said yesterday?
El Chapo, that's a good thing. You know, I'm going to tell you this thing with El Chapo. First of all, that's a whole setup. They're trying to assassinate Donald Trump. That's the only way they're going to get rid of him.
Do you have any inside information on that? Because I will have to report your number and my booth to the FBI.
Now, Mr. Wolf,
Hold on there, Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, have you heard the latest about El Chapo and who he's after now? And it's not Trump.
Yeah, have you heard what Chapo's up to? And I support Chapo 100%. He's going after your people. I mean,
he's not.
I mean, who are? He's going after
He's going after
the terrorists.
ISIS. He's not going after our people.
Okay, hold on. Calm down, all right? Get all your nuts in order over there, you guys.
Well, go ahead. What do you have to say about Chapo going after ISIS? It's in the news.
Okay.
We didn't make this up.
They're saying El Chapo, the ISIS that hit a drug shipment.
Yeah.
El Chapo is not selling cracks over there in Syria. Who the hell believes that? I don't believe that.
Well,
You don't have pounds of weed. Them Syrians ain't sitting over there like Americans waiting on the dope man to come with the next batches from El Chapo.
The dope man.
That's not true. So you can miss me with that. What they're trying to do is put El Chapo on a pedestal so when somebody ISIS Trump, they're going to say El Chapo, the ISIS killer, did it.
Well, from what I recall, Mr. Wolf, from what I recall,
You can't make this stuff up,
Mr.
folks.
Murdock, did you read
Well,
that El
apparently you
Chapo
can.
sent a text message back 2 months ago to the Trump organization saying Trump better shut his mouth about putting the wall up on the border because it might affect his business. Now, that's one thing. Business is business, but you got to admire someone like that who takes a strong stand against terrorism, and he's going to say to them, look, you can go this far, but when you're messing with my business operations, you've gone too far. Now, this is the kind of leader can-do man that I have to say people resonate with. I say El Chapo for president because I think he would get things done, brother.
Now, here's your ticket. Trump and El Chapo.
Yeah, we can have President Trump and then Vice President of Defense or something, El Chapo. What do you think about that, Wolf?
I think you and your co-host has officially lost your mind. If you are sitting here and
Not the first time we've heard that.
Right?
Well,
No, the best you're going to get out of that is an even more higher America, okay? We're already stormed off our ass. Now you're talking
Better
about
living
El
through
Chapo,
chemistry.
the president. So what's that going to do? That's going to drop the deficit? No, that's going to drop the cost of a pound of weed. Now I can go get a pound of weed for $13 as opposed to $1,300. Let me tell you something, man.
I don't know much about weed, but to be honest with you, what kind of merchandise are these people involved in? Is it weed? Is it like painkillers? I mean, you would know more about that than I would.
Yeah, all that ice, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see.
Promethazine. But no, that's not El Chapo. That's fire.
I got it. Well, what did you think about that Catholic priest? I really feel very depressed about this story on the front page of the New York Post. Did you happen to see that down there in your undisclosed location in Dallas, Texas?
First of all, I'm not in Dallas, Texas. It's an undisclosed location, and there's no reason.
No, I see the zip code. It's Dallas. Yeah, that's where you're located. Okay, so what are you doing in Dallas? Are you actually like working for like
So much
Border
for
Patrol
his
cartels?
undisclosed location.
All right, there.
You don't know where I'm located. Don't try to be a smart guy, okay? And second of all, the Catholic priest. What are you, shocked? Were you surprised?
Yeah,
this is
because
practice. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in this
Get a
case,
roll.
what's the name of the guy involved?
Holy
With it?
Communion.
McKelly.
This is how it works. This is how it works.
Well, this Father McKelly
Come
from
on,
the Bronx.
Can I tell you how it works? Look, how you going to ask me a question and keep talking? Come on, man.
Go ahead, answer the question.
Holy Communion, first confirmation, then jiggle some little dude's balls. That's how it works.
No. I have to say you cannot be engaging in this kind of bias on the Lionel Mandrake radio program because this is clear bias. This is one bad apple among many bad apples, and you wouldn't say we should blame all of Islam because there may be some radicals running around, and that El Chapo might be going after them as well. So you can't besmirch the entire population because of
I
one
wouldn't be
bad
surprised
apple.
if
It's
El
on the front page
Chapo
of
was
the Post.
Catholic too. He jiggled some balls in his days. I don't know. All I know is that.
No, this particular gentleman was taking the collection plate, using the money that was supposed to be slated for the pipe organ, and he was having some dealings with another kind of organ, which might involve a pipe. I mean, so he was using
At $1,000 a pop at that.
$1,000 a pop. I mean, this
Which
is
he
some
was
perverse
taking
stuff.
out of the collection plates, literally.
I have to say, it may be you notice how these things come out around Christmas time, so it may be a setup, to be quite honest with you, using your kind of
Christmas
paper.
time is here.
I don't understand Christmas. Gay Catholic priest who Jews nuts. I mean, I don't understand that.
Oh, okay. So what is your religion, huh? What is your religion? The religion of the almighty dollar?
Well, actually,
I don't think so,
that's a
'cause you
good
ain't got
religion.
any.
Yeah, I would actually love to be that. I'm down with that religion now. That is my religion now. The almighty dollar.
All right. Well, before we wrap this up, I want to ask you a question, Mr. Wolf. May I ask you a question? You ready for this one?
Are you going to allow me to answer them? You're going to ask me the question and get mad because I answer it correctly?
It depends on the answer. I might cut you off midstream. Just like this priest. He was interested in... He was paying a guy... This priest was allegedly paying a guy $1,000 a pop to drink his own... what was it?
Up to $1 million.
Up to $1 million he was stealing to have this guy whip him and
was paying the
everything
guy's
else.
rent in his apartment.
It was unbelievable, man. I think he needs to be defrauded.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. This guy was paying up to $1,000 for somebody's piss to drink it.
Well, since you put it so crudely, the facts that are coming out are, I mean, he couldn't do it himself. He had to have somebody hand it to him. But he was using the money from the collection plate. It's utter perversity. I mean, it's depraved and it's debauched, and it makes me sick.
Where he gets the money from? Where's this guy? You got a number. Tell him I got a crap load of piss for him.
All right. Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to have to go, but I have one last question before I hang up on you, because you're getting...
I got the piss for the...
Now, wait a minute. You got to watch your language. I don't want to hear vulgarity used on my show.
Urine. Okay.
All right? The correct word is number 1. He did a number 1 on him. Thank God it wasn't a number 2, but who knows if he's into that or not. I want to ask you, Mr. Wolf, may I ask you a question? If you are what is your full code name here that you call in with?
I am the Silent Wolf.
Oh, you're the Silent Wolf. So you talk a whole hell of a lot for a Silent Wolf. How did you get that fake name?
All I'm saying is, I want to know who's paying for pigs, because I got a crap load of it. I'm telling you right now.
I want to ask you one last question, and I want you to answer it as well as your abilities allow you, because you are rather limited in your intellect.
Mr. Cold piss?
No, I want to ask you a question, Mr. Wolf. Do you think Donald Trump... If Donald Trump paid you X amount of dollars, you would be on his flunky team. You'd be an Uncle Tom, wouldn't you?
Actually, I would act like an Uncle Tom. I would take his money. Then I would sell him a glass of cold piss. How about that?
All right. So what you're saying is you would be a house liar. What do they call that phrase when you were in the house where it's nice and warm?
I am not going there.
Yeah, we're not going there because we don't want any further complaints in the undisclosed location. But you would be another one of those house beep O's.
Thomas over there talking about, I am not going over there. Yeah, you are. I know you're not.
Yeah, we're not going there because we know our restrictions here.
I'm in enough trouble with you as it is.
I remember when Murdock first started out, he was a pro-radical black man. Now look at him.
Yes,
I was never a pro-radical black man.
It's the civilizing effects of Western civilization. That's what happened. All right, there, Mr. Silent Wolf. Do me a favor. I want to ask you one last quick question. Your people in the hood and in the inner cities, how do they really feel about your people, your type of people? How do you really feel about a man like Donald Trump, who's not feminized, who's very masculine, very forceful, says it like it is, and has got the money to back it up? How do they really feel behind the closet doors talking about a presidential candidate like this?
Okay, listen. My name is Silent Wolf, and after I say this, I will go silent, okay? Donald Trump actually is the best thing cooking right now.
Now you're speaking, brother man. Now you're speaking.
Okay, listen to what I'm speaking of, though. Let me just chop it on bam back into tight jeans. I relax.
You're coming in garbled because you're probably gargling on like Listerine or something.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, listen, man. Donald Trump is here to split the Republican vote. Okay, they got the El Chapo guy. Yeah, soon as that vote is split, and it looks like Trump might accidentally win. El Chapo comes in, bam, the ISIS lover, killer, whatever he is.
Okay.
Whacks out Trump. Hillary, who's down with the whole Bush administration
you
thing.
You mean Hillary Clinton?
Yes, that's right. Hillary Clinton.
No, Hillary Clinton. She's coming across like one without the mustache. Maybe she has a mustache.
Where do you right-wingers come up with these names?
I think Hillary Clinton actually does shave, if I'm not mistaken. But it's on her face.
You probably didn't think a race anyway. So when you listen, so now Hillary who's down with the Bush administration. Don't get it twisted, all right? She's down with them. So now she has a free ride straight to the Oval Office thanks to stupid Trump, El Chapo, you, and Murdock, okay?
And by the way, we have your number locked in. Our producers are contacting the FBI because it sounds like you may be making latent threats, and I don't like threats made against a presidential candidate on our show. Am I right, Murdock?
Except if it's Hillary. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse
me, Hillary.
Hey, what did you think about El Chapo? They built a tunnel, and the guards were playing solitaire on the computer. They didn't see the guys coming up through the floorboards. They didn't hear the jackhammers, and all of a sudden, the guards are like, oh, no, we don't see nothing. You know what I think about that? These are some smart security guards, man. Not only don't I hear or see nothing, I'm blind, temporary blindness.
There's a connect guy. They know what's going on, man. They're getting paid. Come on. Keep that on the low. Stop blowing everybody, come on.
No, these guys have been reprimanded. I'm sure they received a couple of $1 million in their bank account. I mean, I'm sure they received a little, they were docked pay because they didn't notice, like, the floorboards being lifted up in the jail cell.
Well, I mean, not being racist.
Well, that's difficult for you.
Mexican American guys will work for way more cheaper than $1 million. Them dudes out.
So you think El Chapo employed an army of Mexicans to dig that 1 kilometer long tunnel?
Yo, listen, you could hire an army of Mexicans to dig a tunnel with your salary, okay?
I probably could, yes, you're right, because the Hughes organization is quite it's quite well endowed, just like that priest, according to his master.
How do you see, once again, how do you know that there's a priest that's well endowed?
Because his master was on the internet bragging about it, and he says I was getting $1,000 a pop to whip him. All right, there, Mr. Lone Silent Wolf, you've done a great public. What is your parting message? We need a public service announcement from Lone Wolf Silent Wolf McQuaid. Go ahead.
He with tight jeans has penny loafers. Peace, I'm out.
All I got to say is, brother, don't be light in the loafers. I told you this.
Call again.
It was very nice speaking to you. Call again. And remember, what do you want him to remember? Well, just remember, stop the racism. We need to all get along. We're one people separated by pigmentation.
That's how you turn my man Murdock. Murdock used to be a leader in the front line. Now, I bet you he has a matching pair of loafers also, don't he?
Yeah, actually, he is rocking some loafers right now. But you know what? If you'd have played your cards right, you could have been standing in that podium next to the world famous Mandrake.
I'm glad I didn't play my cards right, because I don't look good in loafers and tight jeans.
Yeah, well,
what you gonna do? Get on the M train and sit there and model for all the bums that you see sleeping on the cars? Is that what's going on here with you?
Exactly. Just because it ticks you off, I'll do it.
All right, we're going to hang up on you right now because our audience levels are dropping. We have a live scale right here. That
we're
tells
back
us
down to
ratings.
18 now.
And nobody's listening. And you know what? You were entertaining while it lasted, but you're starting to grate on my nerves. Please call back next week.
It's time to move along. We got a lot of stuff here.
Bye. All right, the check is in the mail, brother.
He's a character, boy, I'll tell you.
All right, well, to our listening audience out there, this guy calls from time to time. He calls himself Lone Wolf. Is that it? Silent Wolf?
Something like that. Well, it started out as Lone Wolf, then it became Silent Wolf.
But who was that guy, Kason Jackson, that used to call? Do you remember him? He was a racist from nearby Houston.
That was his evil twin.
Oh, I see. Now, let's talk about some other issues now.
Okay.
Anything that you could think of that we can discuss before the cameras get turned off and we get thrown out of here?
Well, let's see. Okay, we kind of covered both of the ones that I had in that one phone call.
Well, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Well, our theme music today, you see, on the Lionel Mandrake radio program, we're not followers, we're trendsetters. Murdock and myself, we like to be trend-setting, so we don't play the same theme music every week. Yeah, we don't like to have the same old repeating tired violin of this music or that music. So today we played a little piece of music.
We want you to not know what to expect when you turn this show on.
Exactly. Now, who was that performer on that opening song?
That was Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
That was his big comeback song in the '80s when his music was still being tied up by his former record company and he wasn't getting his proper money, which he got all that straightened out now. He's got all his money now, but he did that song in the '80s to kind of let people know he was still around.
And what was the name of that song? And what was it all about? Poison? Oh, I see. And I remember seeing the great music video on that song. It had a really beautiful brunette model lying there, and she's dropping, it looks like an Alka-Seltzer tablet, which is supposed to represent poison, into a glass of water as she's looking at Alice Cooper play.
Actually, I've never seen that video.
Well, you better feast your eyes on it because that model was something else.
Thank God for YouTube.
I wonder if our producers in the booth can play a little small sample of that opening sequence again while we're talking. I doubt it because our full-time staff is not here right now. It's all robots that are controlling the studio here. But like I said, in all seriousness,
here it comes.
Boy, you know, I got to tell you, this Google Voice, it works really well. I mean, we can just say it to the robot and it plays. This opening guitar riff, what does it make you feel like?
Well, I tell you, the first time I heard
Makes me want
to
put my bathrobe back on again.
The first time please don't. The first time I heard this song, I had no idea that it was Alice Cooper because about all the songs in his catalog, this probably sounds the most different. I guess because it was kind of at the time of update, because remember, Alice Cooper's heyday was in the 70s, and he did this song somewhere around 85, 86, somewhere, something like that. And so he updated his sound for the time, and it wasn't until I actually heard him start singing, I was like, oh my God, that's Alice Cooper.
Unbelievable. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. How successful was this song, and what year did it come out?
I don't remember exactly.
All right, kill the music. Kill the music. We get the idea. It's poison. Thank you very much, Robotics. Thank you very much to our producer in the booth.
Like I said, I'm not sure of the exact date. I think it was sometime. I'm thinking somewhere between like 86 and 88.